Hello and welcome to The Big Fight. Election season is here once again. In fact, I keep wondering why on earth are elections always in the summer, because it's really uncomfortable for everyone out there campaigning, canvassing and then going out to vote. But election season very much here, and these are important states. West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Assam, a lot actually riding in them, and of course there's Puducherry as well, but a lot is riding on them. What actually happens out here could be shaping a lot of the discourse, and the stakes are really high out here. What we're going to do on this episode of The Big Fight is quickly take you through each one of those states. We're going to be going across from our studio out here to West Bengal, then we're going to go to Tamil Nadu, to Kerala, and finally try and wrap up Assam to try and get an overall sense of what is actually happening on the ground and what we think the possible trends could be. And joining us here in the studio to help us analyze all of this, GVL Narasimha Rao, well, of course, well-known sophologist, but in this capacity going to be here as his spokesperson of the BJP, Tom Varakan, spokesperson of the Congress Party, Nirotpal Basu, central, he's of course a top leader of the CPM, Aarti Jairat is here as well, senior journalist who's been observing elections all this time. Let's kick off, if you like, with West Bengal. An interesting election. Is Mamata Bannerjee going to be winning again? Let's just remind you, in case you'd forgotten, what actually did happen in 2011. Repeated to some extent in 2014, the Lok Sabha election as well. 2011, in the Assembly, Trinamool Congress 184, but fighting the election together with the Congress Party, which got 42. So between the two of them, it was an absolute and complete landslide 5 years ago. In 2014, in the Lok Sabha, the two were not together, but once again, it was a landslide victory for the Trinamool Congress, 34 seats. And if you look at that in terms of assembly segments, even in 2014, it was 214 assembly segments for the Trinamool Congress, 28 for the Congress Party, BJP 24 assembly segments, CPM 28. It was a real disaster, that particular election, as indeed was 2011. Both of them were disasters for the left front, which, remember, had ruled that state for 34 years. Right. So what's going to happen in 2016? Monadeepa Banerjee, let me come across to you very quickly and let me register my strong and complete protest at that absolutely delicious food that seems to be behind you, which you're refusing to share with any of us in the studio. This is called cruelty.
But I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you, Vikram. So here I am with a whole bunch of friends waiting to have their fuchkas. Let me start with Shikha Mukherjee straight away. Or actually my first comment, and that is till about mid-March, it felt like it was a complete walkover for the Trinamool this time. But then suddenly the sting happened and Sharda got revived, and sadly the flyover fell. And suddenly the Congress and the left got together, and there seems to be a fight that's happening in Bengal. So let me go and ask my friends here, do they agree? So you think it was a walkover turned into a fight?
Absolutely, because the Congress CPM would have been reduced to a kind of history if this alliance hadn't worked out. Mm-hmm. And the fact is that the alliance hasn't happened as a kind of something imposed from the top. It's coming out from below the ground, so to say.
I know that you have a picture with some top BJP leaders on your phone. What do you think? Do you think 17%, 2014, will they retain that share?
See, I can speak as a businessman here. Last time I voted for Parivartan, for change, for this lady, Mamata Bannerjee, who liberated us from the 34-year rule of the left. What am I voting for this time? There is absolutely no talk of how she's going to develop the state, how she's going to get industry, how she's going to get employment. I mean, she's just, all her time is consumed and gone into defending her from all the scams, Narda, Sarda. So I think we need someone who can actually work.
And you believe the BJP could deliver?
Absolutely.
Would you agree? I know that you are very fond of Didi.
I don't think so. They will be able to pose a challenge to Didi at all, because people are not limited to West Bengal. We are seeing what is happening in Kerala. They are fighting against each other. And it's not true that Didi has not done anything for Bengal in the last 5 years.
Okay.
And there's enough data to be given that she has tried and done little bit whatever possible for Bengal.
Ranajit, Congress face, young Congress face. What do you say? I mean, are you a watermelon? Green outside, red inside.
You see, firstly, one has to understand that 5 years of misgovernance, corruption, And frankly, a breakdown of civil society has brought the birds home to roost for the Trinamool. Today, what you see as an alliance in the Congress and the CPM is not a top-down alliance. It's not dictated from the ICC or the Central Committee. In fact, it's very much a bottom-up alliance. It's an alliance necessitated by the fact that in the run-up to the elections, both parties, when they went out to the booth committees, when they went out to the district committees, the one answer both parties got is that we have one objective, to defeat this government.
Do you think it'll work?
Well, I don't think at this point of time the alliance will really see the end of Trinamool.
So 19th of May is going to be exciting. So it'll be a fight to watch out for, Vikram. So
all right, Manideepa, thanks for joining us with some of those perspectives from the ground there. Do remember to courier some of those puchkas across, before you forget. Now, let me come to all of our experts. Before we move on to the other state, West Bengal now. And let me welcome Sukhendu Roy as well, spokesperson of the TMC, before I come to all of you here in the studio. It was looking clear-cut, now not that clear-cut. Last time, Congress was an alliance with you. Now they've tied up at the left front. And is that potentially something that could make a difference between a comfortable, easy victory for Didi and perhaps a real fight or a shock?
This time the performance of our party will be repeated with the blessings of the people, because we are a people's party, and Mamata Bannerjee's
voting for somebody
credentials
for X amount of time doesn't really mean anything. They voted for the left party for 34 years and look what happened in 2011.
Our agenda of development and the performance by the government led by Ms. Mamata Bannerjee, it has shown that for long 34 years the CPM could not do anything, but this government has done so many things.
Mr. Roy, if you were to talk to people on the ground there, they will still talk to other things. I'll just give you some of the issues that many in the opposition refer to. They say there's corruption, they say there have been scams at Sarda, they'll say there's a lack of development, whatever you may say, it's still not happening, people are still leaving the state, there's still a paucity of jobs. All of that is still continuing.
This corruption issue has been raised by those parties which have a long track record of corruption only. First of all, the Congress party. The party which belonged to Gandhiji, that party has turned to be a party of 2G, CWG and CG. They don't have any moral right to raise any issue of corruption.
But that's why they were voted out of power in 2014. How does that prove that the TMC is going to win or not win in 2016?
Congress was voted out by the people because of their monumental failure in our state. So far, not a single corruption case has been proved against any functionary of the Trinamool Congress. Really? Only some wild allegations have been levelled and still being levelled by this party and a section of the press with ulterior motive. But our agenda is people's agenda.
Okay, so
our party
any charges about corruption against the Trinamool Congress is because of a vested agenda. Is that what you're saying? And if the media reports things like stings and scams or Sarda, it's because they have a vested agenda. Is that what you're saying?
After Sarda revelations, we fought 2 elections. We won hands down.
Okay. Let me just get some of the others in, and then I'm going to come back to you after I've allowed everyone else to have their say. Why don't I start off with both the left and the Congress party? You have now come together in an alliance. What really did, and is it in Bengal?
They're fighting each other in Kerala.
So I was about to say that. They're fighting in Kerala, in alliance in Bengal. What is this jumping in and out of alliance from one to the other? One moment you hate them, one moment you love them.
We had great hopes in the lady from Trinamool. She was part of the Congress party. They talk about Congress corruption. She was being part of that team. After
then she left you and became alliance with the BJP.
So she joined the BJP and connected with the BJP. So that's been happening that side also. As to the scams, it is not the Congress party that has bought up these scams. These are in public domain. The sting operation, the flyover coming down, I mean, all that has happened before. It's not the Congress party. The spokesman of the party, Trinamool Congress, is totally rattled. You can understand the mood there. Because yet last time we were in support, today we are supporting. Ideologically, it is a question of a secular platform. And we are on that. It's purely ideology. Well,
how is fighting against Mamata Bannerjee anti-secular, just to understand? Unless you're saying that Mamata Bannerjee is about to ally with the BJP.
Well, that's a possibility. That's a possibility. Let me not rule that out. And I don't think you can rule that out either. But the position is she has aligned with the Bharatiya Janata Party. She was one member who was there when the
Gujarat... Before she allied with you.
She
allied with her in 2011. Then that time we didn't have a problem with the fact that she was...
Even JDU was with us. Nitish Kumar was with us.
We have found out that her roots lie not in the secular platform. We are convinced of it, and she is going to do what we believe.
At what point did you find this out? Before, I mean, after you allied with her in 2011, you found it out at some
political sense
point.
may not make that kind of a logic, but we have our reports coming in that she is with Modi ji all through. And this is just a
So you
team.
supported, I'm understanding this, you supported her in 2011,
yeah,
and then suddenly an investigative team of the Congress party investigated her and found out,
ground reality
and suddenly
tells
you
us
discovered that she's still allied with Mr. Modi.
Ground reality tells us she has a connect with the Bharatiya Janata Party, and that's our information.
You're sure that the left parties are not allied with Mr. Modi?
No, we are not.
You're not sure?
No, we are convinced that they won't.
They won't happen.
Yeah.
So, okay, no, actually, that's one thing even I'm convinced about, and I'm sure you are too. Tying up with the Congress party, does that, are you going to find that difficult to explain that to your cadre, or do they understand that this is
I think there is a lot of misunderstanding, if not misgiving, about what is happening in Bengal. As the Congress gentleman was speaking from Kolkata, he explained that, you see, it is not a political alliance in the traditional sense of the term. It's grassroots level driven. Because what has happened, more than corruption, more than other things, the authoritarian attitude of the government, the kind of thing you are also watching at the national level, that we will decide, we are the law, and no opposition will be able to speak. Naturally, as the major opposition party, it was the left initially which had to bear the brunt. And subsequently, other people started getting hurt. For example, Congress was part of this government till 2012, but they found it impossible. You see, not just Congress, 22 small and big political outfits were part of that so-called Parivartan. But today, you find her in splendid isolation because of this. And what he is talking
about, 184 seats, you can afford to fight elections.
No, unfortunately, Vikram, that is
you don't have a choice to be in alliance because you were beaten down to next to nothing after ruling that state for 34 years.
Therefore, the
you
problem
were
is
eliminated and decimated. So you have to find
partners
and friends.
The problem is, if you come down from your "I know it all" attitude, then maybe I can make some points. First of all, you are saying we were decimated in 2011. What
and
are
2014.
And 2014. 2011, what were the vote share? Our vote share after 34 years was 43% of the votes.
Congress and left were in alliance, and together they got 47%.
Where?
In 2011?
In 2011, and
2011,
left got
2011, TMC and
11,
TMC and Congress were in alliance.
Yeah, alliance.
I mean,
got it all mixed up.
I'm sorry. I mean, how can
That's
you be a
precisely
national
what I'm saying. The
spokesperson? I
mix-up
don't
is-
know.
He's getting it wrong.
No,
Don't comment without knowing facts.
I am saying 47% between Congress and Trinamool they got.
Yes,
we
that's
got
what I said.
41%.
You didn't
and
hear.
BJP got 6%. Okay.
5.
People win by far less number of votes. But because of the exceptional polarization, and as I was saying that the rally of all the forces, we lost.
Okay.
Next 2014 Lok Sabha elections, you see BJP vote shot up from 6% to 17% on this Achhe and to get rid of Congress. Now, therefore, that was what benefited Mamata. But there has been this groundswell of opposition which was being violently suppressed by the state government, and situation has been created whereby everybody thinks that yes, we can settle our political differences later on, but right now the fight is to restore democracy. And if you talk of development, what happened in Kolkata with the flyover collapse, that is symptomatic of development that has been taking place, which is overtaken by the nexus and the cartel which are close to the ruling party and who are fleecing the people.
Okay, JVL, you don't really have a dog in the fight, to use a colloquial term, in either West Bengal or Tamil Nadu for that matter, perhaps, and certainly not in Kerala for that matter. Are you going to be playing the role of do you see your role in West Bengal as perhaps one of a spoiler, where the share of vote that the BJP gets could determine which way seats go?
Except Assam, in all the other states, the choice for the voters is a Hobson's choice. they are between the devil and the deep sea. It doesn't necessarily put us into government in these states, because it's going to be some time before we can really become a party to have a shot at power. But certainly we are growing very big in terms of our vote share. We will also have substantial number of seats, but possibly in case of a hung assembly, we could become a player. Otherwise, we are not in the reckoning for power.
So now put on your psephological hat and tell me, looking at that, what is the power of this particular alliance? The fact that the Congress was with the TMC, now the Congress is with the left party.
I'll tell you.
Is that psephologically a very significant
Yeah, before that,
thing?
a political comment. The Congress wanted to hitch their bandwagon to somebody, because on their own steam, they can't get anywhere. With 7%, 8%, and still dwindling vote share, they can't really be of significance.
9.1%.
So they tried with the Trinamool. This time she did not want them. So they had to explore an alliance with the left. And the left himself is acknowledging they were battered in Lok Sabha polls because of the BJP.
They are now specialized in a new technology that they've developed, which is Skill India. By that technology, they have started this technique because they can't win any elections, you know. So dislodging government, Arunachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, and now Himachal. So,
Okay,
I mean, these skills have expanded. That's the
That
point
is
I'm
where
trying to
the
make.
tacit understanding between the BJP and the TMC comes in, because
Okay.
Sharda was with CBI
We
after
are
some
the
initial,
real, we are
after some
fighting
initial
Mamata more than
progress,
the left has
the
done.
whole thing
Slightly
has gone
irrelevant,
from
irrelevant and
slightly irrelevant to tell us who's going to
implausible.
win.
Vikram,
Okay,
listen,
Aarti.
as far as Bengal is concerned, this is a battle for survival for both the left and the Congress. And that is precisely why the alliance has come together. If they concede this election to Mamata, I mean, without a fight or without increasing their number of seats and their vote share, they are really going to be out of Bengal politics. Mamata will rule, and maybe, who knows, she could rule like the left did for 34 years. Who knows? So, and this is the ground reality that has driven them. The fight for survival, the fact that they are facing tremendous intimidation by the TMC's, machinery, and, they had no other option but to go. And as far as the BJP is concerned, firstly, they lost momentum when they called off the attack on Mamata, when they went slow on the CBI investigation into Sarada. I think that really cost the BJP heavily in Bengal.
Okay.
And now what's happened is, it's a bipolar fight. It's a fight between left Congress on one side against the TMC. The BJP is going to get squeezed out.
They're going to get squeezed out.
Squeezed out and back to that 4, 6, 7, 8% vote share that they used to have.
All right, I'm going to have to move on to Tamil Nadu now. Mr. Roy, thank you so much. Mr. Sukhendu Roy, thank you so much for joining us. And we will, of course, as the elections draw closer, we will continue to focus very closely on West Bengal. Here's the situation in Tamil Nadu. So this is what happened in 2011. AIADMK, 150 seats, of course, at that time was in alliance with the DMDK, which has now gone off into this third front, which we have perhaps for the first time, a third front. Anybody can question as to how strong that third front is going to be. But this was the position in 2011, a very strong AIADMK victory, which was repeated, as we saw in West Bengal. It was repeated here also. Again, the AIADMK did really well in the 2014 Lok Sabha elections. If the Lok Sabha elections are to be repeated now, then AIADMK will get 217 seats. But is that going to happen or not is what we are going to find out just right now. So let me go across to Sam Daniels there, and I am going to be joined both by the AIADMK and by the DMK in just a couple of minutes from there. But Sam, big issues really. One, there's this third front right now. Captain has gone off there. We have a third contender in a sense for Chief Minister. And you're also having other things coming up, prohibition and others. What to your mind are the real factors?
Well, Vikram, after late M.G. Ramachandran, Tamil Nadu has been seeing a change in God every 5 years. So going by that trend, it's the DMK's turn. But this time the opposition is severely fragmented, and DMDK, Captain Vijaykanth has launched a third front. So AIADMK claims they have a higher vote share, so it will get a second consecutive term. The DMK claims they'll be able to come back for power. The DMDK and their alliance say it's a strong third front and they'll be able to form the government. We also have parties like the PMK and the BJP testing voters for the first time. So will it be advantage Jayalalitha or for the DMK or for the third front? Well, I have with me a cross-section of Chennaites to give us a sense of what they think. So that prohibition is a major promise made by all parties. Is it an issue for you? Is it practical?
Prohibition is not the solution. They have to raise some alternate source of income. If you see, 70% of the income to the state government is given by TASMAC. So I think a definitive planning is needed.
Right. I have two first-time voters, Leo and Jantal.
A political party who's willing to support the future of youngsters, I think I would opt for a party like that.
Is corruption a major issue?
Yes, it is. Observing closely, I find in Tamil Nadu, corruption is not from high officers like the MLAs or the ministers. I think the corruption that affects directly every single day comes from us having to interface with the government officials for pushing papers, for getting our legitimate claims, the under-the-table transactions. One conservative estimate puts it at 5,000 crores annually that is being transacted through this. And I think the political parties should look at...
Recently, Tamil Nadu witnessed floods. Is this a major issue?
Yes. In fact, two things I'd like to say. One, after floods, the Chief Minister did not come out and make any statement. Number two, what upset the people is, when the NGO sent relief material, Amma supporters put Amma's photograph to tell the people that Amma has given this thing. It's upset the people.
Right. So lots of issues, Vikram, but certainly it's a fascinating five-cornered contest in Tamil Nadu. We'll have to wait for May 19th.
All right, Sam, we'll of course keep tracking that very closely. Mr. Rajan, thank you for being with us. Just want to understand the point from, if you're looking at the anti-incumbency factor, which has been building for a while, there's also a perception that the AIADMK government has been functioning as a one-person, slightly personality-driven, larger-than-life, which people don't always like. You know, the Amma stickers on flood relief and all of that has upset people.
This whole issue of larger-than-lifeness, sticker, all this has been highly exaggerated. Frankly, Amma is a strong leader, but doesn't mean that there are no other people in the government who have competence. And what Amma has delivered in the last 5 years is proof of the same, whether it's turning Tamil Nadu into a power surplus state from a deficiency of 4,000 megawatts when the last DMK government exited in 2011 to now almost a break-even plus kind of a status with another 7 projects yet to be commissioned soon. In my view, I think we've got a story which is both a development story and a welfare story. And that's the reason we believe personally that this election, we will not see this yo-yo that Tamil Nadu has been seeing over the last 25 years, where AIADMK and DMK has been forming alternate governments.
Mr. Rajan, if you'll just turn to your right, look over your right-hand shoulder. The picture that is displayed out there, in a sense, I think sums up what many people feel is one of the problems of the AIADMK, that everything in your party becomes essentially a tribute to one leader. And that's what voters sometimes get a little nervous about. There is nothing else in the party. There's nobody else. There's no other leader. There's no spokesperson. Everything is essentially a tribute to one person.
No, there are spokespersons. There are 8 of us who've been nominated by the party, and there is no question of any other party being more democratic than this. There are internal party elections which get held periodically, and yes, Amma is a tall leader. Amma is really the tallest leader, not only in ADMK, but actually the whole of Tamil Nadu. But that doesn't mean that only people who are subservient go anywhere in this party. There are people who hold their head high and who are extremely competent in their own right, who've been part of the government. Currently, there's a pro-incumbency and not an anti-incumbency of any kind. If we could spike up the percentage we got in 2011 at 38% to almost 44%, I mean, that's the proof that there has been a growing attention from the Tamil Nadu people to Amma. We're going to cross 50% this time, mark my words. That's where we are. That's why we are contesting all the 234 seats on the 2-leaf symbol. Yeah.
Let me just now go across to Mr. Saravanan, spokesperson of the DMK. Your take on how you're going to take on the entire Amma factor and the role that she seems to be playing, especially because the person whom you're putting forward, though he's been a really eminent leader for such a long time, but he is in his 90s at the end of the day. Don't you think, perhaps you should have put up a somewhat younger leader some time back and built him up?
There is a strong anti-incumbency doing the rounds in Tamil Nadu. There is a lot of suppressed anger in the minds of the Tamil people because there is total misgovernance in the state, in the sense that there is no economic development in the last 5 years. Almost all the industries have shut shop and gone out of the state. No, this government has not taken any step to ensure that there are no more industries. So taking all that into account, and also the fact that the Chief Minister is totally inaccessible. Nobody can meet her, and that is responsible for the floods because the Chembrambakam Lake was not open, the sluice gates were not open at the appropriate time. So taking all this into account, and the fact that there is a totally inaccessible leadership who has never met the people of the Tamil Nadu for the last 5 years and has come out now only at the time of elections. I think this will play out in the minds of the Tamil people, and definitely, we are in the parliamentary form of democracy.
I get what some of the issues. I get what some of the issues around the AIADMK are, but what about some of the issues around the DMK, the leadership question that I asked you about?
See, that's what I'm coming around.
And the second point is that the DMK is still, when you're attacking the AIADMK on the question of corruption, the issues in which the DMK was linked at the center are still things that people haven't completely forgotten about.
No, see, that was an issue which was 7 years old, which has got nothing to do with the state of the Tamil Nadu. See, here now we have issues of corruption where the electricity is bought at exorbitant prices. This affects the common man straight away. The people close to the leadership of the ADMK are purchasing properties left, right and center. They have bought a huge commercial complex, commercial cinema multiplex at a staggering 1,000 crore rupee. All these are playing out in the minds of the people. You're talking about the other case, which the leadership of the DMK is not directly involved. Our leaders, there is no case against our leaders.
Okay,
so
can I ask
you
both
cannot
of you?
compare this with the ADMK leadership, where the ADMK leadership is facing a corruption charge. The case is pending in the Supreme Court.
Mr. Saravanan, let me ask both you and Mr. Rajan a question. At the end of the day, the People's Welfare Front, is that going to make an impact? And the Captain Vijaykant in particular, a bit weakened though he is by all those defections that we've just seen, is he potentially still a factor?
Vijaykant factor has been highly exaggerated from a peak of 10.1% that he clocked in the parliament election of 2009. The party has been dwindling to sub 3% is what my belief is, frankly. The collective impact of People's Welfare Front plus the MDK plus TMC, they don't call themselves as one front, incidentally. There's been a motley group of 6 fairly incompatible allies who have formed this group, and in my view, the impact will be marginal, if at all.
Mr. Saravanan, your take on that?
Yes.
People's Welfare Front?
See, certainly it will have an impact for the ADMK party in the sense that in 2006, when there was a strong third alliance, Vijaykant contested all alone in all the 234 constituencies. He ate into the vote share of the ADMK party. The same thing got repeated in 2009. Also, the ADMK lost in 2009 also. So, scared of that factor, they allied with Mr. Vijaykant in 2011 and they romped home. Same thing cannot happen now because there is a strong anti-incumbency, and this PWF, which has been the brainchild of the ADMK party, is going to eat into the vote share of the ADMK party.
All right. Well, Mr. Saravanan and Mr. Rajan, thank you both so much for joining us.